and the brain bursts.
So this is where like where it gets weird for me is the main artery passages are through your jugular. I don't know the arteries in your brain, but if it bursts, there is a name for that. That is called a. Give me a sec. I'm gonna remember the name of that. But I think that's still technically. In the lungs, it's called a pneumothorax. In an artery, if it's blocked, it's called ischemia. If it is blown, I can't remember what that is called. I don't know if that's considered to be a hemorrhage.
It's a lot of chicken.
I think that's considered a hemorrhage. So my guess, this is 100% incorrect, but my best guess, I would call that, like, outside of just an arterial bleed, I would call that a brain hemorrhage. Like an arterial brain hemorrhage. Yeah. I don't know the technical name for that.
I love Professor Malin.
I'm making you bad, Professor. Is that an aneurysm? No, an aneurysm is a little bit different. So an aneurysm is closer to a TIA, an ischemic attack. So an aneurysm, my understanding of an aneurysm is a different type of blockage to the brain. So, man, now I'm second guessing myself.
Should I brine this right now? I'll brine it tomorrow.
I actually have to look this up. I should know the answer to this. What is the difference between a TIA and an aneurysm?
Hey, we stalled long enough that I can put...
Yes.
Ta-da!
You are correct. You are correct. That is an aneurysm. So an aneurysm is a ballooning of the blood vessel. So that is 100% what that is. Thank you.
Aneurysm is a weakening wall of an artery that bulges outward till it bursts.
Yeah. Yeah. So the I'm going down the rabbit hole. So now what's the difference between an aneurysm and an ulcer?
Doesn't ulcers involve blood? The aneurysm also blood? Dun, 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 dun. Is this big enough? Oh my god, I did it! Rubber band to hold it in place. Let's go. Genius.
All right. Penetrating aortic ulcer. Your aorta is the main artery leading into your... You have a descending aorta and an ascending aorta that goes in and out of your heart.
An ulcer is specifically an erosion of the intestinal tract.
Now, it's not just the... It is not localized to your intestinal tract. You can have ulcers everywhere. You can have ulcers on your mouth. Like, it is a condition of... I think you can have exterior ulcers and interior ulcers. So for example, an aortic ulcer versus an aneurysm. A penetrating aortic ulcer is an area that erodes into the lining of the aorta. The wall becomes weakened and may form a localized outpouching. Okay, so an ulcer. All right. So an ulcer is the initial formation of the weakening of the arterial lining. So you can have an arterial ulcer that will lead to an aneurysm. So when the wall weakens, it's an ulcer. When it starts to balloon, because that generally is because there's clogging on one side as well, that is an aneurysm. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, but my 2 seconds of Googling, that is my understanding of it. But yeah, you can have ulcers anywhere. Armahacks, I'm almost 100% on that. How do you guys, yeah, we got the how do you react. Was thinking that too. C Playa, thank you for that. Green saying noise on the other side of the world. Yes, ports, yes, you're correct. That is an aneurysm. Armahacks confirming. Sean Luke, if you're leaking CSF, you're destined for a CVA. Yeah.
CVA?
Yeah. What is the technical term of a CVA? I'm trying to remember what it stands for. Like, it's a stroke. Like a full-blown stroke is a CVA. What does CVA stand for? Cerebral, that's right, it's an accident. It's a cerebral vascular accident. That is a stroke. And that's generally a bad. Like a TIA is a temporary thing. A CVA is full-blown. Like that's next level. That's bad stuff. Where's goat Jesus.
He's right.
Ports, when it comes to topics like these, my English is not entirely up to par. No worries, Ports. My fucking medical knowledge is deteriorating too, so we make a perfect couple. Armahacks. Though it's not just a hereditary thing or a brain thing. An internally ruptured artery anywhere is an aneurysm. Yeah. Sean, I know. Just wondering if you remembered A&P. Yeah, dude, my A&P. I took anatomy and physiology when I was 22. And I'm about to turn 40. 22. And I took A&P for 3 months. I took it for 3 months. And then the rest of the 3 months was pre-hospital. Pre-hospital care. I have Jar O Chicken question, says imperfect pixels.
Let's go. It's for tomorrow.
Parts! I know that a blood clot is usually referred to as thrombosis. So thrombolytics and thrombosis, I think, is the treatment. So thrombosis is the treatment for blood clots, not the blood clot itself, or at least that's my understanding. So that's the reason why anybody who has a stroke needs to know exactly the time that it started, because there are windows where you can have thrombolytics to help cure the clot, essentially. Armahacks, and that one is squirrely at ports. Yeah, again, thrombosis or thrombolytics are a treatment. That is my understanding. Port saying, I mean when a blood clot blocks veins or arteries. Yep. I'm dehydrated. Drinking water, says Maritime. I suffer from hypotension. I always stand up slowly, says Sean Luke. Yeah, so the biggest thing that you can do, Sean Luke, is up your water intake. Armahacks,
I need to do that too.
A clot in your heart is a heart attack. Your lungs is an embolism. Brain is a stroke. Thrombosis is an extra organ vein. Arteries are typically too high flow to block. I gotta look that up. Because thrombolytics is the local coagulation or clotting of the blood.
In a part of the circulatory system.
Then why? So thrombolytics. Huh. Okay. So thrombolytic is the therapy. Thrombosis is the clot.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look at this educational stream for everyone.
I suffer. Yeah, we get that. Clot in your heart is a heart attack. Yeah. So that's what's the term for that? A clot in your heart is actually technically called a myocardial infarction.
That's right. That's a funny word.
Your lungs is an embolism. Brain is a stroke.
What did my brother have? Hole in the lung.
That is a pulmonary embolism.
No,
that's a pulmonary. That's a
pneumothorax.
Yeah.
That's what my brother had. He coughed too hard and he popped a hole in his lung. It was the most random thing ever.
In the late 80s, I was on a bus that slid sideways in the rain, says Geek Boy, and hit a concrete barrier that bounced the side of my head off a window, and I had a 3-inch split, aka that's a laceration, a lac. And after they stitched up the gash, the doctor told me not to be alone the rest of the day. So after I went home to change shirts due to blood, I went to work.
So he